For more reaction, NATO Secretary-General Anders Fogh Rasmussen has called for a new partnership with Russia and said that both sides should consider a joint missile defence project. He also said that NATO is ready to discuss Russia's proposals on a new European security framework. Meantime, the leaders of the largest European countries also hailed the decision made by the Obama administration. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel called the US move a hopeful signal to help overcome difficulties in relations with Russia. The British Prime Minister Gordon Brown said that he strongly supports the US move, and the President of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, called it an excellent decision. Opponents to the US plan, though, in the Czech Republic have greeted with delight the prospects that a new base won't be built in the country. But some are still disappointed that it was the US and not their government that made the decision. RT's Charlotte Lomas-Farley reports now from Prague.
Well, the mood among the majority of the population here is one of relief and happiness after finding out the US will scrap its plans to site a radar base in the country, which would have been located around 3 hours' drive southwest of the capital city, Prague. Now, there's always been fierce resistance here, and around 70% of the population were against the proposals and have been fighting long and hard to ensure that their voices are heard. So obviously, everyone very pleased here, and that was a point clarified when we caught up with one of the activists earlier.
Barack Obama realized that this really was a step in the wrong direction, which is what we've been saying all along, that it was not improving the security situation in Europe or in the world, and that it was actually bringing us closer to a potential conflict or perhaps even a third world war. And I think also he realized that it was very much damaging to the relations with Russia, and so that it was counterproductive for the US interests as well. This is really a big victory for the Czech people. Many people celebrate here. Those 70% of Czechs that opposed this project are clearly very happy. There's going to be a big celebration today involving all the different groups that have been involved in the struggle. So this is a big victory.
But I have to say, while the news has been welcomed here, there is a feeling of discontent among some of the population towards their own government. They feel that the Czech government here have largely ignored their voices, ignored their calls, and they've called it a pity that the decision to abandon the plans has come from the US and not from internally. And activists that we have spoken to have even gone so far as to describe it as a sad time for democracy here in the Czech Republic. And I have to say that the reaction is probably going to be very different in Poland, which was the other planned location in Europe for some of the missile defence system. The majority of the population there were actually in favour of the proposals, and they described it as hopefully obtaining some sort of alliance, some sort of support from the US. But the Czech government here have spoken out and said that they didn't need that. They didn't need any extra security, and the Czech foreign minister has said that indeed they obtain all the safety that they need from being in NATO. So there has been a smooth acceptance here by the Czech people, by the Czech government, at the plans to drop the missile defence system here in the Czech Republic, and many people are just relieved that the issue is now over.
Yeah, that was our correspondent Charlotte Lomas-Farley reporting from the capital of the